Let's get going. Awesome. Good evening, guys. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you are all doing good. I hope you've all had an amazing festive season. I'm super excited about today. Reason being is that we are going to be talking about something that is also very close to my heart. We will be talking about other people's manpower, and other people's mind power. Today, I'm bringing the two sessions together, and there's a reason for that. It's because a couple of days ago, I made a video on Facebook, and I was asking people, who is your advisor in 2020, 2021? Who is it that whose advice are you taking in 2021? Whose advice are you drinking from, or whose well are you drinking from in 2021? And who are your teachers in 2021? There's so many voices that are out there, so many voices that seem credible. And some voices are just around you, and some voices are far from you. But everywhere there is a voice, and each voice has an opinion. Everywhere there is a voice, and each voice has something to say. And the question is, which voice are you listening to? Tonight at 8 o'clock, we will be listening to the president. For goodness sake, none of us know what the dude is going to be saying. And after tonight, people will be making decisions based on what the president says. In other words, people will hear what the president is saying, and then they will make decisions based on what they've heard. So the question is, whose voice are you listening to in 2021? Whose voice are you going to listen to and use as counsel to help you and your business move to the next level? So the reason why I love this subject of other people's mind power and other people's manpower and mind power is because of this reason. It is that I do not really have to use my own thinking to figure it all out. A story my father always said to us growing up, that there are two types of people. Excuse me. You get the wise man, and then you get what we call a genius. A genius and a wise man, both of them have been blessed by God with potential. Both of them have been given potential to make decisions. Both of them believe that the gene or the gift or the potential is inside of them. And this potential can be brought out. The other one believes that the gene is in him, and because the gene is in him, he can solve his own problems, and therefore goes through life doing what we call trial and error. In other words, this person learns from his own mistakes. He makes mistakes and he learns from his own mistakes. Ignorant of everybody else's mistakes, but he learns from his own. And within the same line of thinking, you get what I usually we call a wise man. A wise man is someone who asks himself the question, why should I figure it out all on my own when there are people who've done this before me? Why should I figure it out all on my own when there are other sources that I can drink from? There are other wells that I can drink from. There are other means or ways of which I can learn. Why should I try figuring this thing out on my own? And both of them are people who are very tenacious, people who've got goals, people who've got dreams. Yeah, finally Silindile is back. Awesome. Awesome. Now I can see that you've got your sound on. Well done. Awesome. So so as I was saying, so the thing is then you know, both of them are smart people. Both of them are very intelligent people. But the wise man asks himself, why don't I succeed by association? Why don't I succeed by counsel? Why don't I succeed through networks? And in the story, my father was trying to say to me, everything you aspire to be in life, everything you want to have in life, someone has written a book about it, someone has done a video about it, someone has done an interview about it, someone has left a trail. Someone has left a trail of which you can do of which you can follow and have the same success. So if someone has done what you want to do, why try figuring out on your own? Right? And then he went on to say to me that every single thing you desire in life, everything thing you dream of in life, aspire to have or would like to have, is in is either in the intellectual property of another man, or it's either in the pockets of another man, it's either in possession of another man. In other words, it's either by capturing the mindset from someone else, or it's either by finding ways to do some service that will provoke this particular individual to stretch their hands into their pockets to give you money. Thirdly, it is that it could be in this person's possession. In other words, you could negotiate for that which you want by selling your stuff. Now, the question then would be, how do I get those things? We all want things, and everything you want is out there. Everything you want is in existence. Everything you aspire to have is there. But the thing is, the reason why you don't have it, it is because you don't know how to ask. A friend of mine usually says, you have not because you ask not. You have not because you dare not. You have not because you dare not to knock. What this means, it is that one of the first things you need to realize is that you cannot succeed on your own. And the second thing you need to realize, it is that your own success is highly dependent on people. Now, I have a very quick question that I was actually supposed to ask from the very first minute when we started. What would you choose? 1 billion rand or 1 billion friends? Do you guys mind writing for me in the chat box? What would you choose? 1 billion rand or 1 billion friends? So I'm waiting for you guys to respond. What would you choose? 1 billion rand or 1 billion friends? I need you guys to engage with me. 1 billion rand. TK says 1 billion rand. What did you guys choose? Anyone else? 1 billion rand. Buhle says 1 billion rand. Tell you 1 billion rand. Linda, 1 billion rand. 1 billion. Awesome. So everybody's saying 1 billion rand, right? Now I have something very interesting for you. um, we always say instead of choosing 1 billion rand, it's supposed to be 1 billion friends. And I'll explain why. Because when you've got 1 billion rand, you've got 1 billion rand to spend, but you don't have 1 billion rand to make. You have a billion to spend. But when you've got 1 billion friends, you've got a target market in which you can sell to. When you've got 1 billion friends, you've got an audience in which you can sell your content. When you have 1 billion friends, you've got people in which you can sell your product. In other words, you have a customer base that is able to keep buying from you from the billion, right? So the reason why we say you're supposed to have 1 billion friends instead of 1 billion friend by 1 billion rand is because when you've got a billion rand, yes, you can spend it, of course. But what is it when you don't have a target? Maybe someone will say, no, I'm going to market my business. But no, we're saying 1 billion friends or 1 billion what you call 1 billion rand. Now, the whole point in saying that it is to say, first of all, one of the biggest things that are killing your dreams is obscurity. Please write this down. One of the biggest things that are killing your dreams, it is obscurity. It is obscurity. In other words, it is the lack of people having awareness about you, or it is the fact that people don't know you. Now, what do we mean when we say people don't know you, right? Okay, this is what we are trying to say to you, right? It's that if people don't know you, nobody is going to buy from you. When people don't know about your product, when people don't know about your business, when people don't know about what you can do for them, when people have no form of awareness about what you can do for them, then your business suffers. And I want you to think of it at a very large scale than what you've just been exposed to. I want you to think of it in this manner. Um, if you look at all the big boy companies, if you look at all the big boy companies, they are dominating their spaces. They are dominating their spaces. They are not in the business of competing, they're in the business of dominance. In other words, let's make an example. Look at Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, right? Um, I don't know how many people I saw um, moving on to Telegram, right? Most of us have moved to Telegram because of one text and one decision that was made by one very wealthy guy. We can actually go and buy the very same Telegram that we have moved to, right? But the reason why that guy is able to do that, whose name is Mark Zuckerberg, it is because he's built a business that only wants to dominate the space of social media. He doesn't want to share the spoils. He wants to dominate the space. He bought WhatsApp, he bought Instagram, on top of having Facebook, which means this guy wants absolute control over his industry. He's built Facebook and marketed Facebook in such a way that he's serving this Facebook product of his to the world, right? Now, when building a business, it's always very important for you to understand that it's got far more little to do with what you know, but everything to do with who you know and who knows you. In other words, property, business is all about relationships. It's all about who knows you and who do you know. If nobody knows you guys, nobody will buy from you. If nobody knows what you are doing, my mentor usually says, stop asking your friends and family and people you know to support you. They won't. Take your business and market your business. Most of the time, you should spend 90% of your time building strategic relationships. So I need you guys to write this down, strategic relationships, right? Success in property is highly dependent on strategic relationships. In property, we've got 5 forms of leverage. The first one is other people's manpower, other people's manpower, other people's money, other people's marketing, and other people's time. In fact, other people's money comes as a result of you having done the first 4, right? If you haven't mastered the first 4, other people's money will always remain a nightmare for you, or will always remain a dream or theory. And if you notice all these 5 forms of leverage in property that we've got, all of them have one thing in common: it's people. It's people. In other words, your ability to sell or communicate your ideas to people will determine your success in property. Your success in property is highly dependent on your ability to sell or communicate your ideas with people. That's all there is to negotiating. That's all there is to raising capital. That's all there is to getting people to get things done for you. That's all there is to doing transactions. That's all there is. Communication plays a very big part in your business, right? It's all about relationships. Now, I always laugh when someone says, I'm not a salesperson. No, I'm not born to sell. No, I'm not born to do this recruiting thing. No, I'm not born to do network marketing. And then I'm like, dude, you are so ridiculous. Life is network marketing. The minute you are born in a network. Your family is a network. Your mom, can you throw a family tree? What is that? A family tree is a network of people you know. I can almost guarantee you that all of you guys here have no less than 200 contacts on your phone. Right? I am sure that all of you guys have over 200 contacts on your phone. All of those people form part of your network. Right? It's people whom maybe you've been in business with, maybe you attended the same school, maybe they were your colleagues, maybe you attend the same church, maybe it's your friend's friend. So in other words, what I'm trying to say to you, so we are born in a network. That's the first thing. Second thing is that when you are born in a network, you also get to choose which network you want to participate in. We are born in a network. In other words, we are born around people. Our lives will always revolve around people. If you cannot sell or communicate your ideas with people, you stand less chances to get whatever it is that you want in life. Remember what I said to you. The reason you are not living the life of your dreams is because you don't know how to ask. You don't know how to ask. Right? Which means one of the first things you need to first get right is learning the skills of asking, right? Because in property, that is all we are doing. That is how I managed to build my business. Every business I've got, I built it without having money of my own. Every business I've got, I've built it simply by this one skill of being able to sell or communicate my ideas with people. It's all about people. Now, I want you to tell me something, and I'm going to ask you guys a bit of a challenging question, right? If you are all to look at your phone contents right now, right? If you needed 5,000 rand within the next 24 hours, if you needed 5,000 rand within the next 24 hours, who in your contact list are you certain that this person has 5,000 rand? If I'm going to call them now and say, Chief, I'm in trouble of whatever kind, I am looking for 5,000 rand. Can you please comment on the chat box and tell me if that is you? Anyone here who says, I've got in my contacts list, I have someone whom I can ask for 5,000 rand, and within the next 24 hours, they will have made the transaction to me. 5,000 rand, you are in a corner, right? Nobody is dying, right? Okay. And how many? So someone said that it's a sister. Someone said none. Yes, I'll appreciate those. Anybody? And how many people do you have in your contacts who can give you 5,000 rand within the next 24 hours? I'm waiting for your responses, guys, on the chat. Kanti asizudlula ndizawunilinda. At least 2. 1. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else? Ndinilindile, guys. In your contact list, counting you 5K within 24 hours. Izani, guys. How many are we? We are 8. Come on. I'm waiting for responses. In your contact list, when you need 5,000 rand, how many people do you think can be able to give you that? Okay, because of time, because I'm going to have to move on, right? Okay, somebody said 1. Awesome. So which means if the number is not more than 10, somebody said 1, yes. So if the number is not more than 10, it means that you are networking with people who don't have money. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And this is not to mock you or the people that you are friends with or you are in relations with. But this is to say, I'm trying to show you, how are you going to make $1 million rand? If your contact list does not have 5,000 rand. So if it's 1, it's 2, nobody said 10, everybody is less than 10. and I don't want to even ask 100,000 rand. I'm going to stick to 5,000. So let example get 5,000 rand. But let me ask you a question. If you needed 200 rand, how many people on your contact list do you have? I'm sure you've got more than 10. You need 200 rand within the next 24 hours. Say, go name. 200 rand is what you need. How many people do you have on your contact list? You need 200 rand. 200 bucks, dude. 24 hours. I'm sure you've got more than 10. Right? You don't have to give me the clear number. Can you guys confirm? Is it more than 10? How many people? If you've got the number, can you name it? 12, 11. Wow. So somebody said 12, somebody said 11. If you've got something, tell me. You need 200 bucks within the next 24 hours, right? How many people do you have in your contact list? More than 10, right? Yes. Oh, awesome. Now, I want you guys to think about this then. Think about this. So this actually is an exercise to make you be able to see in network yako. And it makes you understand why you are earning your worth right now. And this, when I say this is your worth now, it does not mean that your worth cannot be changed. Yes, it is subject to change, but this is the result, right? Yes, you are going to be a millionaire. Yes, that's what you affirm. Yes, that is your dream. Yes, you've got this network that you've got in mind. Yes, we are not disputing that. But now, whenever there's a dream, you always need to come back and look at reality so that we can take reality into the level of the dream, isn't it? So which means most of you guys are in relationships or in networks that are built for survival purposes. They are not built for thrival purposes. They are built for survival purposes, isn't it? I mean, if you don't have friends who can at least give you more than 5,000 rand, and we haven't spoken about 1 million. And I believe all of us have dreams to become millionaires. We want to earn 1 million plus per month. Yes, we want to go shopping in Dubai. I'm sure all of us have very lofty dreams. But if you think about it, if you've got a network that cannot give you, right, a finance of that nature, or if you were to ask for 5,000 rand, you're breaking an arm and a leg and the face and the nose, and you're breaking basically every body part of this person, that means that your network is something that you should start changing. Your network should be changed because your network is not conducive for where you aspire to be. The quality of relationships you are exposing yourself with today are not conducive for your $1 million worth dream. Now, whenever I say this, somebody then says, Ngoyi, are you trying to say I must disassociate with my friends? They are bad people? No, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm sure they are good people. I'm sure they've got some dreams that they've got. I'm sure Nitetindo is productive. I'm sure very much that going into a tile or izuzayo when you are with this person. But what I am not sure of is, are they conducive for where you want to be? On Sunday, I was listening to one of my business heroes in cryptocurrencies, and he said something very interesting. Now, okay, sorry about that. Somebody just tried calling me. Just pick up the phone and just call me. Apologies. I hope I'm back. Can you guys hear me now? Javagala, can you guys just confirm in the chat if the Pinenda Buya? I just got distracted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got distracted, man. Somebody just tried calling me, so whenever they try calling, it just disturbs my network here. So as I was saying, Uguti, this guy said something very interesting. He said, when you want to be an orange, right? An orange, whilst an orange is under the process of becoming an orange, whilst an orange is still a lemon, right? Or whilst the orange is still sour, he says the orange needs to remain in the tree. The minute the orange falls off from the tree, the orange forfeits the environment that is producing for this to become an orange, right? And he said something very interesting. He said, when a tree is growing, some fruits or some oranges will be ripe at a particular time, and some oranges will not be ripe at the same time as the others. But as long as that orange remains in the tree, that orange stands a chance of being a ripe orange. In other words, Sisonga guys, he said then, we are a product of two things. He said we are a product of decisions, or we are a product of environment. We are either a product of decision or we are a product of environment. And then he said, if you don't know how to make better decisions, learn how to get yourself at least to the better environment. If you cannot make the million rands worth of decisions today, at least start with an environment, because it is in the environment that you will get watered. It is in the environment that the juices that you need for you to become a ripe orange, that is where you're going to get fed. And you may not be, I mean, you may not be ripe at the same time as all the other oranges, but over a period of time, as you stay and remain in this tree, you stand a chance of becoming an orange. What did he mean? He was trying to say to us, if you are not yet fit to make financial decisions or decisions worth multi-millions of rands, start by exposing your system into an environment that is conducive to your dreams. This made me think back about decisions that I've made in my life whilst not being aware that I was making them. But however, I was making them, right? And it made me think in grade 10, after I was saying, Guti, I want to drop out, I kept attending business events. Little did I know that it was those environments that were shaping me. I saw so many people go into those environments. Most of them I never saw again. The people whom I saw succeed in those environments, I saw succeed because they consistently, repeatedly, and persistently, over and over and over again, exposed themselves into that environment. I did not have money to get into the seminars and workshops. Did not have the 300 rands that was required. Did not have the monies that were required. But I used what I had to go there because I knew it change. Its success. Is in remaining in this environment. At first, I could not make a million rands worth of a deal. I could not raise 1 million rand in 40 days or 60 days. I did not know how to invest in property without using money. I did not know how to build strategic business relationships. I did not know what investors are looking for. I did not know the 7 categories of investors. I didn't know what I know today. I am where I am today because when I could not make the decisions, I exposed myself into environments that awakened the decision making in me. So if you are not yet fit, okay, awesome moms, if you are not yet fit to make a multi-million rand decision, get yourself acquainted by getting into an environment where the decision makers in that environment are making a million rands worth of a deal. Right? I think I said it differently this time, right? But I'll send you the recording. So that's the most important thing. It's the environment that changes people. Now, I said this other day, when you say environment, you look at a child who grows up in the township. Whilst they are young, they are innocent. They've got big dreams. I want to do this. I want to do this. Une potential, une focus. But guess what? As much as this person is driven in the beginning, but over a period of time, the Kasi mindset or the township mindset, or if they don't expose themselves into an environment that is different to what they're in now, over a period of time, they will start smoking, they will start robbing, they will start making babies all over the place. They will start being destructive, right? The destructive behavior we see in town. Not everyone or destructive, what you about destructive, they became products of the environment of the town. It's not that people do not have dreams, but it is that when they are not fit to make a decision, right, that is worth R1,000,000, the environment that they are in can either serve their purpose or it can serve as a distraction to their purpose. So when I attended those business events, I was learning how to ask for R1,000,000. When I was attending those events, I was learning the necessary skills, the knowledge, and the blueprint that is being duplicated and applied by successful people. Now, do you know what's even funny? It is in that same environment that I met people who would pay tickets for me, who would take money from the first person. I remember when I cried, someone paid 3.5 for me to attend a business event. And I was like, I just met this person now. And I was fine with standing by the door because I did not have the money. I was going to stand by the door and take notes. I was fine with that. But this person said, you know what? I see that you are serious. I am willing to spend money to help you get inside this hall and learn with us. It was in that environment that happened. I did not have the money, but all I did was get into that environment. And then the second time, someone paid between 7,000, if not 9,000, for me being a complete stranger was when I attended a Rich Dad event. And again, I did not have money. This person spent money for me to advance my education in property. What did I do to do that? I used my transport money, the little money that I had as a seed to go where I wanted to be. That's why I always say, never dream based on your seed. Dream based on your dream. Use your income. Use your income as a seed to get you to move forward. Your income is a seed. It's not your capacity to dream. Don't let it be the box in which you dream. Let it serve as a seed. A seed is so powerful to build, or I don't know if build is the right word, but to build or to start a forest, you need only one seed. You don't need 50 seeds, you need one seed. One seed. What I'm trying to say to you is that whatever it is that you are earning today, it is enough to help you to become a multimillionaire. Whatever it is that you are earning today, it is enough to help you to become a billionaire. All you need to do is invest it and spend it to watering your vision and your dream. Right? So when I attended in those I left Ekasi and would go in town and we would get into those environments to learn. Now, guess what I did? Without knowing, I was learning and I was tapping from other people's money because someone spent money for me to learn. I was tapping from other people's mind power because someone had to feed me the necessary skills and knowledge. And I was tapping from other people's manpower because it was a result of other people's physical labor. right? So learn how to ask. Now, in property, now going back to my first question that I asked, who are you entering 2021 with? Who's part of your team in 2021? Now, when I asked this a couple of days ago, I meant to say, who is your business general in 2021? A lot of people are watching the news are selling fear. And I don't remember the news giving any good or sound business advice. So I wouldn't watch the news if I was a businessman. Well, I am, but I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news with the intention to take action based on what the news say. I listen to voices that have been winning. And so my question is, Kulo 2021, what voice influences your finances? Kulo 2021, what voice influences your business strategies? Kulo 2021, whose blueprint to financial freedom are you using for success? Right? Now, so we said you are a product of decisions, or if you cannot make decisions, at least get into an environment whereby you can be a product of this environment. So as I attended this environment over time, that was so big compared to my earnings. I was earning less than 2,000 Rand a month. This environment that was so big according to my educational skills, because I'm a grade 12 dropout, but that environment taught me the necessary skills, taught me the necessary knowledge, taught me the thinking behind Abantu who've been winning in property, taught me all the different skills I needed to deploy into my business for me to buy my first property. When I got my first mentor, I was ready. And when I got my mentor, within 3 weeks, I signed 2 property deals. Now, this is a very important thing when we talk about the environment, Diago, right? Because you must remember, as I said, if you cannot call your friends, I'm going to share a very interesting story. If you cannot call your friends and say to them, Buffett, um, I'm in need of I've got a property deal right now, and we're looking at raising 1 million rand, and none of them can raise, it means this vision of yours is too big for you to share with that environment. Which means one of the first things you're going to need to do as from today, it is that now you need to start creating a list of people whom you should start associating yourself with. In other words, you need to start building a new network. We need to start building a network that is conducive for Ramapupa. A network right now is conducive for you, but for money 200 rand. That is survival money, folks. A network right now is conducive for you, but because of money 5,000 rand from one person. That is survival mentality, folks. That is not thriving mentality, right? Which means you need to start associating Nabantu who are thinking about thrival, associating Nabantu whose thinking capacity facilitates for the millions that you want to make. So this is going to be my task for you. And I need you to write it down. Every single week, notice what I said. Every single week, put it upon yourself to build at least one new strategic relationship in relation to a successful somebody in business. Does not have to be in property alone. It can be this person is in trucking or manufacturing or in design, in clothing, whatever it is. Remember what I said, it's not what you know, it's who do you know and who knows you, right? Now, as I said, the reason why you can call the number of people that you can call to get 200 Rand in 24 hours is because they know you and you know them. And they are more than willing to give you 200 Rand with you not having to have sold anything, right? But if you were to call a stranger and say, Chief, thing 200, will be like, Even if unayo like I was, I think 200 rand, dude, I don't know you. Why should I give you 200 rand when I don't know you? Why are you asking me for money? That's going to be the attitude, isn't it? So, which means what's killing your business right now, first and foremost, is that it's the quality of networks that you are involved in. Quality of networks you are involved in have been shaped for survival. Now you need to be, what do you call this? What's the word? You need to be intentional about the quality of network you are creating now. You need to be intentional. Now, what do you mean when we say you need to be intentional? I said, now you need to start building new relationships. Now, I'm sure maybe your next question, but where are these people? So it starts simple. Think about your favorite restaurant. Think about your favorite restaurant. That restaurant, man, yeah, Valentine's Day, right? That restaurant, birthday, think about imol, think about the if unemoto, think about the place of which you fill up your car in, right? Which means all these people are all around you, but all you need to do is to make the phone call and start building relationships. All you need to do is make the phone call and ask them, what is it that I can do to help you in your business? In exchange for me to learn how to ask. It's a very important subject, this thing that we are talking about today. If you have a network that is only conducive for survival, you will always have survival-like kind of life. Whether you are aware of it, affirmations can go to a certain extent. Affirmations without taking action is hallucination. Affirmations without action is hallucination. You're just basically firing up yourself for nothing. You're firing up yourself for indlalo. And there's very little time to do that, right? What kind of relationships do you have? Now I'm going to tell you something about environment, how it changed my life even now. So 3 months ago, I moved my family into Somerset West. Now, this is funny because no, it was 2 years back, a friend of mine who stays in the very same neighborhood I stay in now, I told him that one day I will stay where you stay. One day I will stay where you stay. And he said to me, oh, wow, well, we will see. Wow, well done. We will see. In my mind, I was like, he's not encouraging, but also he's trying to stir up that, dude, I'm going to show you, I'm going to stay where you stay, right? What do you do? Right? So I said, I'm going to stay where you stay. We were friends, we called each other, it was about business and what, but we never really did business together. So funny enough, when I moved over and moved here about 3 months ago, I gave him a phone call. Now, when I give him a phone call, I'm like, hey, Dino, bro, I have moved officially into this new neighborhood. We are neighbors. I'm like, dude, let's hang out for coffee tomorrow. And he's like, no, actually, come over to my place. I've got something for you. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, man, I wonder what is it that you have for me. Now, I got the next day, I took a walk into his place. And when I got there, we start discussing, hey, man, how is business? I share how challenging the year was, and blah, blah, and all of that. And he shares his side. And then I'm like, okay, great. Tell me, man, why am I here? And then he says, listen, bro, when you called me, I believe it's divine intervention. Now, in my mind, I'm like, what do you mean divine intervention? It's like you called me at the right time. I've got something important for you. You always said that you are good at raising money, isn't it? So I said, yeah. And he said, I need 400,000 within 72 hours. Now, I've never raised 400,000 within 72 hours, right? It never happened in my life. I know people who've done it, but it's just a numbers game, right? Remember what I said in your contact list. How many people do you have that you can call on your day of trouble. You named your number of people, right? And now, even in my contact list, I had a couple of people, but 400,000 in 72 hours. They were not going to give it in 72. Maybe they'd want us to meet, and then some would go and consult with their wives, their husbands, and then the husband says no, or the wife says no. That means, boy, boom, you're not going to invest in it. Dude, let's move to the next person. So like, I do have a lot of people that I know have that kind of money, but not in 72 hours, dude. Give me 2 weeks and I'll get the money for you. I just want 2 weeks, I'll have the 400,000 rand. I promise you, I have the 400,000. Now, he said, okay, 2 weeks it is. So he shared an opportunity with me, and he said, I've got this important opportunity that we can ship gold together. We can ship gold together through to Dubai, we can ship gold to Senegal, we can ship gold to Kenya, we can ship gold to Mali, we can ship gold to Nigeria. So this is the opportunity I've got for you, Roy. I need you to raise 400,000 to be part of this. Now, when I looked at the numbers and the figures and everything I saw there, it was going to help me achieve my goal, right? My financial goal, right? And I said, because I had said last year that I want to be a 7-figure earner, right? And I need to do it not on an annual turnover, as in before expenses. I need that to be my income, 7 figures, not before expenses. I mean, after everything is paid, I want 7 figures. I cannot disclose the number to you guys. This, I'll get the money for you. We're going to be partners in this. I'm excited. I will get things going. I signed the paperwork right there, did not have the money. Signed the paperwork right there. Then the first thing I did, I called all the millionaires or people I know have access to 400,000 on their phones now. Immediately. Now, think of it like this. This is an opportunity for you to earn your dream income. Your dream income. All you need to do is raise 400,000. Your dream income. You are going to be able to pay off all your debts. You're going to be able to live, the life of your dreams. You're going to be able to go shopping in Dubai. That's what you find is fun. You're going to be able to travel around the world and make a very decent amount of comfortable income. All you need is 400,000 rand. Do you see the danger of missing out on opportunities because you have a network that is only built for survival purposes? The only reason you call someone for a 200 rand, the only reason you call someone for a 5,000 rand is because nothing to do with you thriving, everything to do with you surviving. Are you guys with me? Nothing to do with you thriving, everything to do with survival. Think about it, right? Think about it. That's why the numbers are so low. It's because the people are operating in that sphere. The mindset is on survival. If you only 5,000 rand, you won't get, only 5,000. Can you imagine? You cannot only 5,000. Go on 5,000. It's an arm and the leg and the face and every part of my body. The asking is too much. Means that person's mindset is set up for survival. Now, if I had a network that did not have that kind of money, I would have lost out on an opportunity to earn an income of my dreams. Simply because of not having access to a contact base that thinks thrive. Now, guess what? After I'd made the calls, all these guys are like, yo, boy, I would have invested, but my money is stuck there and there and there and there. I invested there. So I realized what we all know, that rich people, it's not that they have money. Their money is plugged into different investments. They don't have money sitting around waiting for you to ask for 400,000. That's why I said to him, give me 2 weeks, because I understand that it's going to take some time getting this money, moving from one investment into this account into the Ngoye Empire, then it must move to that account. So I was like, I need two weeks at least. Now, guess what? Now because of the agency, I called my investors in my personal company and asked them one question. Do you guys want to make more money with me? Or do you guys want to make what you've always made? And they all said yes. So I said, okay, then we are going to sell one of our properties. We need to sell this property within a week or two. And we need to sell it at this price. So we take this money and we invest it on another project that I've got. They did not understand. I was like, if you guys are with me in this, trust me, we'll make more money than you've made probably in the whole of 2020 with me. And guess what? They all said yes. Within 2 weeks, I got my real estate agent to get everything done. We sold the property at my price. And we sold it at a price that is higher than the market value, price that is higher than the municipal value. The reason why I was able to do that is because I know how to ask for what I want. They tried negotiating with me and I said, listen, I'm not going to give you more than this. I'm not negotiating my price. Did you call? You saw the advert. This is the thing I always say, but a lot of people aren't aware. I was like, you saw the ad on Property 24. You saw how much it cost. Did you bring this meeting for us to discuss discounts? Or did you bring this meeting for us to make a deal? And these guys are people who've been in the business of property more than I have. But I told them, you saw the price. When you scheduled a meeting to see me personally, did you schedule the meeting to discuss discounts? Or did you schedule the meeting to make the deal happen? Guess what? They were cash investors. They made the deal happen, right? I got the money I wanted. I used the money as collateral to get it from another investor and said, Chief, if 400,000, there's a deal going through, it will not come to me within 2 weeks, but I need you to give me 400,000. When that money comes in, I'm going to give it to you, and then I need you to give me this. I sent him the paperwork and I signed surety and I signed collateral for that money. And guess what? I had the 400,000 within about 7 days. Right? Now, if you look at the story correctly, you look at the fact that firstly, I was in an environment in terms of a neighborhood environment that is conducive. Secondly, a contact base for an opportunity of that nature where it is conducive. Thirdly, a contact base where I'm able to raise the amount that is conducive for my dreams. It is not so much about what you know, so much about what you have, so much about what you can afford, so much about your credit score, so much about, I think I've heard it all, right? The excuses. And do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? Whenever somebody has an excuse in relation to property, the excuse starts with I. I am blacklisted. I have a bad credit record. I can't afford. I don't have a pay slip. The banks don't like me. It's got all to do with me, I, me, I, me, I, me, I. Everything is about you, right? And you don't realize that if you don't have it, there's someone else who has. Remember what I said? Remember what I said, right? Every single thing you aspire to have in life is in someone else's intellectual property, someone else's pocket, and someone else's possession. So why should you be talking about you? When someone's got your money, why should your focus be on you? This is why more often than not, then you hear successful or rich people saying that poor people are selfish. What they mean when they say poor people are selfish is that all of your excuses have more to do with I and less to do with everybody else. More to do with I. School taught us individualism, right? School taught us to do things on our own and less about partnerships, right? And that's one of the things that are costing your business today. It's that property business at large is all about people. The name of the game is who knows you and who do you know. Remember what I said? The reason why you have so many people whom you can ask for a 200 rand is because they know you, you know them. Go and ask a stranger for a 200 rand without providing value. What are they going to say to you? But kwaba bantu baziyo, they are able to give it to you because they know you, which means obscurity is killing your business. Right? Now, let's move on to the next thing. Let's talk about your power team. Now, business is a team sport. Business is a team sport. You are as good as the weakest link in your business. You are as good as the weakest person you are allowed into your organization. You could be the strongest, you could be the smartest, but you are as good as the weakest person. You are as good as the weakest person in your organization. What do I mean by that? Most successful people are not. Well, that's not really true, right? That's not really true. Successful people want people of value. Want people of value. So the question is, what value are you bringing to the table? If you're going to be friends or want to build relationships with someone, what value are you bringing to the table? That's why I worked for free for my mentors, because I could not give them money. I worked for free. I washed the car if I had to wash a car. I ran errands for them if I had to run errands. I went to view properties. I was viewing properties for my mentors. I was doing research for my mentors. I was attending events for my mentors. I was taking notes and attending whatever for my mentors. That was the value I could give to my mentors. So the thing is, it's not so, you must remember what I said. It's, if you cannot ask, you don't get what you want. You need to be a person of value. What value are you bringing to the table? It's not always about money. There are two ways to do business. You can barter for success, or you can buy success, right? What do I mean when I say you can barter for success? In other words, you can offer an exchange of value for you to earn or to learn the skills that are necessary for you to earn your worth. Or you can buy in a form of mentorships or learnerships or whatever it is, for you to be able to learn the skills. So the thing is, what value are you bringing to this person? You need to be value driven. How can I make this mentor's business more better? What can I do for this person to help them move their business from where they are to where they want to be? Be a value driven person. Don't be an asker. Don't be like, of course, okay. Now, when I say don't be an asker, I don't mean don't ask for your value. What I'm trying to say is don't meet rich or successful people to ask and ask and ask. Be a giver. Be a giver. Right? So the question, in fact, the other day I was listening to one of my mentors. Awesome. The other day I was listening to one of my mentors saying, if you want to be a millionaire, right? How much are you willing to give to become a millionaire? Bible says, blessed is the hand that gives. How much are you willing to give to become a millionaire? And when you say how much, we're talking about how much time are you willing to devote to learning the skills? How much money are you willing to invest to learn the skills? How much effort are you willing to learn? Are you willing to put in? Right? Yesterday, someone wanted to schedule a meeting at lunchtime with me today in Cape Town. Hi, Ngoyi, I've just arrived in Cape Town. I come from holiday. Can I meet you tomorrow? I'm like, cool. I've got an opening at 1 o'clock. And this person then said to me, where are you in Cape Town? And I said, I'm in Somerset West. And they said, how far is that from Cape Town, the city itself? I was like, it's about a 30-kilometer drive. And then the first response was, you? And then I stopped them right there and I said, listen, let me tell you something, right? If traveling 30 kilometers to meet me, if you don't believe if traveling 30 kilometers to meet me is worth your time, then you shouldn't have called. Then you shouldn't have called. Right? That's the truth. When you are serious about something, it means awulambanga. Awukabi sure ngale ufuna uyenza. I was like, if you are going to be expecting me to take some of my time and give you 1 o'clock with time slot, and you don't believe traveling 30 kilometers is worth the effort for you to have or to reap from what I can offer you, then rather don't come at all. You shouldn't have made the call in the first place. Right? And they said, Aibo, that sounds rather too harsh. And I was saying that's how serious I am about my dreams. I cannot tolerate spending time with someone who's not serious about their goals, about their vision. You gave me a phone call, you know what value I bring to the table. So which means if you are not willing to drive 30 kilometers to meet me, if you don't have a car, take a taxi 30 kilometers to meet me, then you should not make the call. Don't make the call. It means I'll serious enough. I want to spend my time with people who say, Chief, Ngoy, I want to go all the way in for my dreams. I want to go all the way in. Dude, when I had no money, I raised money. I went to meet to events without having money. Why do you think I did that? I did that because I believed that my dreams were worth it. I believed that my dreams were worth the effort. I dropped out of grade 12 halfway. Do you think I dropped out to play? I didn't drop out of grade 12 halfway for Indlalo. I dropped out because I believed that my vision was worth it. If you do not believe your dreams are worth it, you will not travel 30 kilometers for it. It means Aukalam. It means, so there's a phrase that women like using, right? And it's a very interesting phrase. They always say, if he is not interested enough to be consistent in showing effort or interest in you, then it means he's not committed to you. You get two different types of people there. People who are interested in success, people who are interested in being wealthy, people who are interested in being property investors. Then you get people who are committed to being property investors. People who are committed to building wealth through property. The other one simply saw an ad on Facebook and remembered that, property is my dream. The other one saw an ad on Facebook and said, you know what? I want to go, or this has always been something I wanted to do. A person who is committed shows it by persistence. That's commitment. Right? If he's not committed, if he's not interested enough to be consistent, he is not committed. So going back to this thing of Ipower Team Yakho. So business is a team sport. I said you are as weak as the weakest member in your business. Now, there's a very good saying that I love from Donald Trump. He says, good management attracts good employees or good staff. But if good staff is led by bad management, sooner or later the good staff will leave. If good management is is hiring bad staff, then the standards of good management will be compromised. In other words, whenever you add into partnership or anything in your organization, you need to look at quality in terms of an individual. In other words, there are some traits that you need to look for in individuals and qualify if should they be part of your network in your business, or should they just be at the hands stretch away. This is very important. I once partnered with people whom I taught property by myself. We were 5 guys. I taught 4 of them property. Actually, we're 6 guys. I taught 4 of them about property. 3 of them conspired against me. The very same person who taught me. Now, look at this. I taught them property. When they started making around 100,000 rand, 80,000 rand a month, they started believing they've made it. When they started making some kind of serious money, they thought that they've made it. There was no longer a need for them to listen to me. Now, guess what? I then decided that this is becoming toxic because I cannot compete with people who are in my organization. I cannot be in competition with people whom I am supposed to be leading to the next level in this business. So I said, you know what, guys, I'm going to step down and leave the company. I'm going to leave the company with all the investors I brought in, going to leave the company with all the properties I brought in. I'm going to leave the company even with the income I was making from the company. Everything in this company, I will leave with you guys. I want you guys to give me a sweet exit. I don't want to fight with you guys. I want to leave Kakush. No fights. I want a sweet exit. I want to go and rebuild my life again. Guess what? Nobody begged me to stay because they were happy to see me leave. I left. And guess what? Within a space of 6 months after I'd left, one of them called me and said, we've lost everything. Lost the properties, lost the income, lost the investors. And their lives were even worse off because they had to sell their cars to pay back their investors. So what am I trying to say to you guys? It is that partnering with bad people can be toxic. So in other words, you always need to be on the lookout. Who is it that is in your team? Now, in your team, you're going to need some professionals. In your team, you're going to need to hire some professionals. Now, I always say this, if you are not going to be hiring professionals in your business, why are you in business? Professionals went to school to learn the necessary skills to run other people's businesses. Now, that is other people's manpower. In other words, you need to start looking at whose manpower can I utilize in building my property business. Now, one of the first people you are going to need in your team is a real estate practitioner. You're going to need a real estate practitioner. You need a real estate practitioner. Someone will say, or else what you call a real estate agent. In other words, what is a real estate agent? You need someone who's like a broker or something, whom you can be able to pass on how you want deals to be done, structured, and negotiated in your absence. In my team, my personal broker is Rafika. I will tell you why I love working with Rafika. And I don't like working with a lot of people. I prefer my team being small, extremely intelligent, and very smart people. And the reason why I love working with Rafika is because on the very first deal, she proved her worth to me. The very first deal we did together, my first property I bought through her. I had asked so many agents to work with me, nobody wanted to work with me, right? And when I told her, Rafika, I know the properties were 2.8 million rand, put in an offer of 2.1 million rand. She, of course, said, Aibo, but the seller will say this and this. The seller, and I said, put in an offer. I mean, no, I said, I put in an offer of 1.9 million. Sorry, I put in an offer of 1.9 million rand. The property asking price was 2.8 million. My asking price was, my offer was 1.9 million. She said, the seller will mock me. I said, tell the seller that the buyer is arrogant. The buyer doesn't want to listen. The buyer thinks he knows it all. Just say something like that. Make me the bad person. Guess what? She went into that deal and negotiated from 2.8 all the way to 2.1 million rand. When she picked up the phone and called me, she said, Lihle, I'm so sorry. All I could get is 2.1 million rand. I've done my best. Even right now, I'm pushing. And I was like, dude, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. And that's when I learned that this person is the kind of person who has such an attitude that whenever I send her into a den, she does not leave without getting something. And in my team, that's a trait that I value from people. It is that don't ever call me to give me an excuse. Call me and tell me, Boy, I didn't get what you said, but this and this is what I've done. This is what I've tried. This is what I've come up with. These are the measures I've taken. However, this is what I think that we should do. Don't call me and give me problems. Don't call me and tell me what cannot be done. Don't call me and tell me that you did not get any form of result. I want results. So for me, I am the kind of person who respects and loves people of results. Result-oriented people. One of the first traits I value in people is people who know how to get things done. Why? Because I come from not having anything. So for me, I respect someone who knows how to get things done despite the objections. So that's one of the things I love about it. She knows how to get things done. And in every single deal over the last 3 years, we only lost one deal. Every single property I wanted to buy with her in Cape Town, I bought it. And we worked well together because she's the kind of real estate agent who knows how to get things done. Now, when I speak to my power team, I always say something very interesting to them. Now, when I do my power team trainings, in other words, you need to have what we call a power team training, where you tell your staff or your power team members what is the standard of success required to win in your business. So for me, I always ask them this question. One day, my biggest dream is to own private schools throughout the country. And I don't like saying these guys are my competitors, but they are my teachers. One of my teachers is the founders of Curo. Curo, this private school named Curo, makes a turnover of 200 million rands per annum. Right? They do developments, they build from scratch, they do their own schools, they've got their own designs, a wonderful curriculum. And I'm like, these guys are doing what I want to do. That's the space I want to play in. So when I speak to my power team, I want them to think like this. I'll tell you how I want them to think. So I always say to them, if I am going to be buying a property and Curo is also interested in buying that property, how ready are you guys to make sure we get results? Curo has the money, I still need to go and raise the money. Curo has the money, I still need to go and raise the money. How ready are we? How ready are you guys for us to come out of that deal having won? So tell me, out of level 1 to 10, how well skilled are you guys? Because that's where I'm heading. So if you guys are not going there, you must know that you and I, our relationship has to end now, has to be forfeited now. Because I only work for long-term relationships. The only time I ever work with people is for long-term purposes. I never work for Rukuta Kwanamshaji. I always work for long-term purposes. So if this person is not willing to develop themselves to be ready to be part of my team when that moment comes, which means I'm going to lose the deal every time. I'm going to lose this deal every time. 10 mil. I'm going to lose this deal because I've got weak team members. I've got weak team players. So my thing is, my challenge to you guys is that you need to set the pace as a leader for your organization. What is the standard for success? What kind of people do you want to partner with? What kind of people do you want ukuthi babe kule organization or business yakho? So Rafika is very vocal. Rafika is very good at selling. Oh, yabona Rafika, I know. If I give her a task, I don't need to run after her. I don't need to call her 20 times. I don't need to panic. If it's in Rafika's hands, it's almost as if it's in my hands. That's how I've duplicated my leadership skills to her. Which means she understands the vision. She caught the vision, and she's running with the vision. She understands where we are heading to. She's got the sense of urgency to convince and sell my ideas to the sellers, my ideas, and convey my message. Why it's important for them to give me 45 days to raise the money over someone who's got a cash offer. Right? You need real estate brokers or practitioners as part of your team. The second part you're going to need is, I call them runners. You need runners. Now, what is a runner? Now, in property, I always say a runner is someone who views properties that make good sense for me. Now, remember what I said. When I was starting out in property, I was a runner. I was viewing properties every day, potential deals every single day. I was viewing every day. I was viewing every day. I was viewing for my mentor that I was working for free. I was a runner. I started as a runner, viewing properties. Now I've got my own runners. In 6 different provinces, I have my own runners. I've got runners in Cape Town, runners in Pretoria, runners in Joburg, runners in East London, runners in Port Elizabeth, runners in Durban. I have not bought a property in East London, Port Elizabeth, and in Pretoria, but I've already started building my power team there because I already have runners in those cities. They are viewing properties for me and giving me feedback on what they have found. That's what we call other people's manpower. Because guys, you need to be, if you, hey, okay. So I want to simplify this thing for you guys to understand what I want you guys to understand. The quality of problems you solve on a daily basis affect the quantity of your income. In other words, the reason why I want to have runners. Also, Manelisi says he wants to be my runner in East London. So now the reason why I've got runners in these different provinces is because as Ulihle me, I'm a limited resource. I cannot be in 6 major cities at the same time. Now, for me to be able to expand, I need to expand through people. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Sisti. So I need to expand through people. I need to expand through networks. Are you with me? Because I cannot be in Joburg, I cannot be in Cape Town, I cannot be in Durban or any of these 6 major cities at the same time. Therefore, for me to accomplish this feat, I need to use leverage. Now, what is leverage? Leverage is the ability to do more and more with less and less effort. It's the ability. So in earning, we usually, when we say your earning ability in leverage, usually say you should earn 1% of 100 people's efforts. Leverage is also the ability to accomplish or achieve more with less and less physical effort. If I had to view a property in East London, I have to spend more money. I have to fly to East London or drive to East London. When I get there, I need to hire a car, find a place to stay, view some properties. And then if I wasted my time, I wasted basically a full day's work where I could have done something else using somebody else's time who is already in East London. Which means if I did not find something that day, I've wasted the day, right? Plus minus what, 5 to 10,000 rand spent. wasted, right? So leverage helps you to be able to achieve more. That's why I say yonke into oyifunayo isebantwini. Right? Now, guess what happens? Every single day, I have an allocated time. Or let me not say every day because I don't speak to them every day, right? But every single week, I've got roughly an allocated time that I devote to these people for them to share what they saw, what is the property like. I've trained them. They know what I want. They know what I look for. They know what is the making of a good deal. They know what will make me tick, what will make me not tick. I've trained them. They understand. Now, for me, now another very important thing is that it's the fact that now these runners view these properties and then they give me feedback. Now, do you notice, Uguti, sometimes what would have cost or taken me a day's worth of labor is now becoming a 15 minutes worth of labor. That's other people's manpower, other people's physical efforts. Right? They went and viewed the properties. They took money from their pocket to go and view the properties for. Then they give me feedback. That's part of your power team. Runners. You are going to need runners. Now, this is very important, guys. In the beginning, you are the runner. You are everything in your business. Ne? In the beginning, yes, you have not built all these relationships that we're about to speak about, which makes you the runner, which means you need to go and view the properties. The other day, so this was funny and I got very annoyed in that meeting. On Saturday, we were having a meeting with, so these guys are coaching students of another guy who's also doing well for himself in property. But this guy taught his coaching students to obsess about numbers, but not obsess about viewing. I'm like, I mean, to find one property, you most likely need to view anything between 20 to 100 properties. And these guys were trying to base the value of a deal based on a number. And there was this back and forth, in this conversation. It was, so basically I was just chairing this meeting. So these guys are coaching clients of another person, and I've got my coaching clients who've got their deals that they found. Now they're pitching these guys for money. And these guys have got the money, but they don't know how to find a good deal. What is a good deal? How to run the numbers. They don't know basically nothing. They are exactly what we call a qualified investor. What's a qualified investor? You are investing just because you have $1 million in your account. You are an investor just because you got money. It's not because you know what you are going to do. It's not because you understand property. It's not because you know the business game. It's just because you have money. So these guys were just taught to just look at the numbers. And I was like, dude, that is ridiculous. First of all, you guys are asking the wrong questions. Secondly, you guys have not even viewed the property. How do you come to a conclusion that it's a bad deal? You've not viewed anything. And then the guy was like, no, I did the research. What's the research? No, I saw the prices on Gumtree. I'm like, no. That's not a research, bro. Right? You need to go and view the properties. You need to go and meet the people. You need to go and build the relationship. You need to go and drink coffee with some people, guys. That's how we build businesses. That's just how we build businesses. It's about relationships. It's about relationships. Right? So in the beginning, you are the runner. In the beginning, go and view the properties yourself. I did that. I view. Now, when a deal is good, when a deal makes good sense, then and only then will I fly to come and buy, to come and see the property with my physical eye. As long as I'm not convinced, I'm not flying. As long as I'm not convinced, I'm not making any physical effort. As long as I'm not convinced, you're still going to go around looking. When I fly, I want to fly or travel knowing that there's a 90% chance that I'm going to buy this property. How do you know if it is a good deal? Yes, I'll be teaching you that over the next few weeks, right? That's one of the things that I will be teaching you guys. Today, we're still talking about other people's manpower and other people's mind power, right? So we will cover those aspects. What are the makings of a good deal? What do you need to look for? How to run the numbers? When viewing, what should you be looking at? I will teach you all of those things in the coming weeks, right? Thanks for the question, right? So that's important, right? So you're gonna need runners. Another part of your team, you're gonna need a construction guy. A construction guy. Now, I've got a very interesting relationship with a construction guy here in Cape Town. Right? This guy says to me, "Boy, if you um, if you find a good deal that needs a lot of renovations, I will renovate for you for free. If you find a property that needs at least 700,000 to 2 million rand needed in the renovations in Cape Town, I will renovate for you for free. And in exchange for that, I want to partner with you. I want to own a portion of the property." So this guy will take money from his own pocket. Oh my God, did I just lock this thing up? So this guy will take money from his own pocket, from his own business, and build with his own material, use his expertise, pay his own men for labor. And in every property that we partner with, this guy owns 30% of the property. Now, that's another form of bartering. Remember what he said, there are two ways to do business with someone. You can either barter in exchange for value, or you pay them their money. So in this case, he says he knows I always get deals that can produce monthly income. He wants monthly income. And he wants to use my expertise. And I want to use his expertise. Can you see the exchange of value? My expertise of finding good deals, my relationships, his expertise of building and his relationships, and together we do business in Cape Town. A very nice relationship to have, right? So that's an example of a relationship that you can try to strike with your contract, with your contractor or your construction guy, right? Which means you will need people who will get quotations for you after you viewed a property to tell you how much is it that you are going to spend to renovate the building? How much is it that you are going to spend to do what you need to do? Is this thing, is your vision for this building practical in professional terms? Can it be brought to life in professional terms? Right? I'm not an expert in building. I don't want to know if behind this wall there's a geyser or what. I don't care. I don't want to know if this is a structural wall or whatever. I don't want to learn any of that. I want to partner with people who went and became experts in school and are going to help build my vision. Everybody who goes to school is being prepared to build your vision. That sounds rather too harsh, but that's the reality. If they don't get jobs, if you are not creating job opportunities for them, then who's going to hire them? No. So use that leverage to your advantage. People went to school to become professionals. You don't have to be the jack of all trades. The jack of all trades are those who are willing to sacrifice their time, their energy, their ability Are we winning? Can you guys hear me now? Am I back? Again, someone just tried calling me once more. Am I back? Can you guys? Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So you need a construction guy. Yes, but awesome. Thanks, boss. Yeah. As I said, somebody just tried calling me. So when somebody calls me, I get distracted. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So you confirm it's clear now. Thanks a lot. Boss. So my thing is to say to you guys, you need also a construction parts person as part of your team. Right? Now, Mamelango guys, don't look for people who charge less. Don't look now. It always sounds rather wrong, but it's true. I know maybe you've got that cousin who just secured their construction degree or contractor degree and stuff like that. And maybe you want to support them. But my thing is, dude, remember you're using investors' money. You really want to test your cousin's business with who just graduated with investors' money, right? So for me, I'm always of the opinion, my cousin has to prove himself a bit. Give him a 3 years to build a business at least, and then I'll support. For now, I'm using people who've been in the business for years. Now, this is another thing you need to realize. One of my coaching clients sent us a quotation. Somebody sent a quotation, and the quotation was that we had bank details, Zika Capitec, that about 200,000 had to be paid on Capitec. And I was like, dude, you are not gonna hire that guy. You are so not gonna hire that person because first of all, that person is not running their business as a business. First mistake, right? It's the beginning of a catastrophe. You're asking for trouble. In other words, who's not using a business account, you can't be funding using investors' money, dude. Doing a business transaction, uyithumele kumntu osebenzisa uCapitec, and Capitec has no business account, which means it's going into somebody. So you got an investor to give you money, to entrust your business with money, and you are giving your money to an individual in the name of a company. That's child's play. That means this person is not prepared for that kind of money. They don't even deserve it. They don't have a business account. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care what the excuse is. You're running your business as a business. You are using an investor's money. You're not testing here. You're doing things, running every single thing. Every single transaction has to be done in a business-like manner. Otherwise, you're going to lose people's money. You're going to be called a scam. And you will not be able to have the evidence to prove you are not. Right? So that's what I said to them. Secondly, I said, I know we want to support people, but you can't test with people's money. The registration says the company was created in 2020. Do you really want to use somebody else's money into a company that has no track record of success? So I know my advice makes it hard for someone who's starting out. My advice makes it rather too ruthless, maybe, or too harsh to say, but no, other people deserve a chance. I know that. But do you know what's the problem with people who deserve a chance, right? Whom you give business because they deserve a chance? It's because more often than not, they will then come back to you and say, yo, we underquoted. We said you're going to need 400,000 rand. Can't you need 1.2 million rand, boy? Now, when boy looks at the numbers, you're like, 1.2 million rand, which means I'm losing. This makes what could have been. This deal was good at 300,000, but now it's bad at 1.2 million. If this person gave me a proper quote, now you've already bought the property. Now you're already sitting with a problem because you have an incompetent contractor. Right? Now you already bought the property using other people's money. Now you cannot renovate and deliver because of someone else's incompetence. Now you need to go and change strategy. You need to go and report to investors. We've actually lost money. That's the problem. Or you go and raise 1.2 million rand, you put yourself into debt. Now you need to start taking money from your pocket, money you don't have in the first place, because you wanted to make money from this property. Now you can't make money from this property because you had an incompetent team member. This is why I say your business in property is as weak as the weakest member. It takes one bad apple to ruin a group of apples. It takes one rotten apple. Your team is as weak as the weakest member. Get competent people, not people who charge less, people who charge for quality and deliver quality. Now, I always say to people as well that don't do business with people because, hey, this stuff is nice, dude. Stuff is nice. So, and what? Because when they take an umkaya approach into the business, they have a tendency of under delivering because ungumkaya. If anybody sells their business because they want you to support them, it means they cannot sell. It means they do not know how to sell their value. And because they do not know how to sell their value, they will most likely deliver a value below your expectation. You can't build a business with the please support me mindset. You can't build a business with the please support me mindset. You tell me one person who made $1 million by selling please support me. Do you see Coca-Cola doing an ad? Please support us and buy Coca-Cola. This is a bottle of Valkyrie spring water, sparkling water. Do you ever see an ad of this company, right? Do you ever see an ad of this company on TV saying, please support us, please support black, buy black? Nonsense. That's one of the main reasons why black businesses don't succeed, because siyabacenga uba mabasisupport. Siyabacenga nabo bayazidala because they think we can't do it without them. Iyacenga, uhleli nje iyacenga. It's a begging mindset. In fact, it's a vulture mentality. A vulture has to wait for something to die in the forest. And it waits for this thing, ukuthi maife, before it goes and cleans. Which means it always eats itchinch. So as long as you have a mindset of please support me, you will get please support me clients. Please support me clients, don't pay on time. Please support me clients, have a lot of nonsense. Please support me clients are the kind who's going to say, but why don't you give back? Give back. Please support me clients. Have a poverty mindset. It's a waste of executive time, one of my mentors says. Right? So choose your client base, right? You are as weak as your weakest family members, and as your weakest business partners. Because if your business partners believe that they are entitled because they are black, they are entitled because of misfortune, they are entitled because we are not a lucky atom. In other words, we are not born in a family where everything was provided for us, in a rich family, then it means that they will deliver in direct proportion to their mindset. They believe that they're entitled to you giving them business, even when they're under delivering. Oh hell, you should still pay them their 300,000 for their incompetence. And it costs you a business. You're paying 300,000 rand. Now you need to pay an extra 700,000 rand. Ubungenai wasn't part of the budget. On top of you having bought the asset, you bought the asset because you took their word for it. This is why you cannot build businesses. You cannot partner with people who think their skin color entitles them to greatness. Starting is effectual. It's the most poisonous partnership you can ever engage yourself into. Next, another part of your power team that you're gonna need, right? Another part of your power team is architects, guys. Right? Architects do your designs. They can give you square meterages and stuff. Is Dulo. They put the stuff into drawings. They put your vision on paper, so that the construction and everybody, every other professional can run with your vision. What does the Bible say? Put your vision in writing, so that he who sees and reads may run with it. So if your vision cannot be drawn and put into paper, you will get incompetent results. Architects are a very important part of your property business. Architects, they went to school to learn the skills to add value to your business so that you could hire them. Architects need architects as part of your team. What's another one? Another part of your team is a property management company. A property management company. Why do you need a property management company? Okay. So I'm going to ask you this question. You said to me you want to make $1 million. And I promise you, after you make your first $1 million, you're going to want to make 10, you're going to want 100, you're going to want more. Right? Because a stretched mind never goes back to its original form. In other words, okay, let me explain this way. Robert Kiyosaki has over 8,000 units. He has over 8,000 units. Do you think Robert Kiyosaki calls people to remind them of your rent? Tell me your thoughts. Do you think he makes the calls? Tell me your thoughts. What are the quality of phone calls Robert Kiyosaki do you think he makes? Do you think he picks up the call to call people and say, dude, you did not pay 3,000 rand rent. You did not pay 5,000. You have an does he send text messages? You have an outstanding amount of rent for the month of January. I saw a lot of people making jokes on Facebook saying, I got over 30 phone calls from the landlord. Was he trying to ask Ukuti, was he trying to say Happy New Year? And I laughed at the fact that those landlords are probably doing the wrong stuff. I need your answer. Do you think Robert Kiyosaki collects rent himself? Do you think he makes the phone calls? I'm waiting for your answers in the chat box. Someone says, no, he does not make calls. Anybody else? Do you think Robert Kiyosaki makes the phone calls? Awesome, we've got some responses. Thank you so much. Which means he's got what we call a property management company, right? That manages his properties for him, right? In other words, he's got part of his team that monitors the running of all his projects. Yes, he's got people doing the job for him. Exactly, right? So he's got people who are monitoring his properties, all of them. Right? Now, hey, I've run out of water and my lips are becoming dry. Jeez. Okay. Now, so in other words, Robert Kiyosaki, when he's using other people's manpower again, other people's expertise, and other people's time, right there. Now, I always say this to people. If you then have plans to build millions in property, you cannot be the one calling people, raiding them of 3.5, because you are solving problems with 3.5. We get paid in direct proportion to the quality of problems you solve. If you are making phone calls to rate 3.5, you've got some serious issues. It means that you are solving problems less than $1 million. In other words, the reason why you want to have a property management company to handle that aspect is so that whenever you can solve problems worth millions as a business person, 90% of your time is supposed to be spent on sales. 90% of your time is supposed to be spent building strategic relationships. That's why guys, my man, that's why I couldn't call golf course a kasi. Why do you think golf courses in town? Why do you think rich people play golf? They play golf because that's where business, where executive conversations are being done. That's where problems worth millions are being solved. %90 of your time should be spent building strategic relationships. Right? So that's what they do. Property management company. Next part of the power team is you need a property maintenance company. Management manages markets of business are vacant. They look after the fact that the building, who stays there, are they qualified to stay there? They do the credit checks and all these other parts of the business, right? That's what the management team does, right? And then your maintenance team maintains the property. They will do the chopping down of the trees. When a broken window, maybe students broke the window, they were fighting, maybe there's a geyser burst, which means when they do your maintenance company is supposed to be doing that, not you. You are a property investor, not a property manager. The minute you are the one who makes the phone calls ready, the minute you are the one who fixes it, you get people who are like, the best way to do things is to do things yourself. I'm a DIY guy, right? Do it yourself kind of guy. Why spend money on someone else when you can do it yourself? It's ridiculous. That thinking is ridiculous. You cannot be the Tarzan of your business, right? Let the people who are well skilled, well educated to do what they have to do what you have to do. You need to solve problems worth multi-millions. You need to be building business relationships. You need to be building business relationships, folks. Building business relationships. It's all about relationships. The money game is a relationship game. Who knows you and who do you know? Remember, I'm going to keep going back to the example we made. I asked you guys the question. In your contacts, I'm sure all of you guys have over 200 contacts. On WhatsApp, I have over 2,700 contacts. That's me. Over 2,700 contacts. On Facebook, I've got over 20,000 followers. Right? And very soon, I'm working on expanding my Instagram, and I'm working on expanding all my social media platforms. Why am I doing that? It's because I want more people to know me. My money is with people. My money is with strangers. The millions I want to make are in the hands and in the pockets. And it's intellectual property of somebody else right now, right? If they don't know me, they will not do business with me. The reason why all of you guys are here, you are here because you know me. And do you know what's funny? 90% of you guys never saw me physically. 90% of you guys don't know if I'm tall, short, what is this? If I'm medium sized, what am I tall? Am I a dwarf? You guys don't even know that, right? Right? Most of you guys just saw me on social media making noise, speaking like I'm speaking right now. Probably like, this guy makes a lot of noise when he talks. Why doesn't he just, be calm, dude? Lower your voice. But he makes a lot of noise when he talks. And guess what? You are here because you got to know me on social media, on a social media platform. Right? And today we are in this meeting together And some of you guys have not met me. Right? Very interesting. If people don't know you, they will not do business with you. People don't know you. If you don't tell people what you want, your money is with strangers. If you don't tell strangers what you can do for them, if you do not communicate your value effectively with strangers, you will not make money, folks. The network you are in, we already said it's not conducive for where you need to be, which means the environment that is conducive for where you need to be is with strangers. Guys, the people who said to me, son, you have a great potential, did could not help me get to where I am today. The people who saw me in the cooler doing public speaking at church, doing public speaking growing up, running parents' events at my mom's school, they saw this guy's potential. But guess what? They were not in, they could not facilitate for my dreams. That's why they could not move me to the next level. I had to build relationships. I had to meet people. I had to go into those different circles of environment where the winners are. That's why we spoke first that you are either a product of decisions or you are a product of environment. If you can't make the decisions first, at least get yourself into an environment. Because even though an orange, the orange does not become ripe at the right time with other oranges, as long as that orange stays in the branches of the tree, it will get the necessary juices. It will get the water that is required for it to be eventually what? A full product. Right? Get yourself in the zone where the thinking capacity or the thinking facilitates for your dreams. Very important, guys. So that's so just spoke about your property, spoke about property management, spoke about property maintenance. Now, another one that you need to do is your teachers. Now, I don't like saying I don't really have a lot of mentors, but I've got about 5 mentors. Some of them know that they know me personally, and some of them are just online mentors. Right? Now, one of my first, and I know from each mentor what skill am I looking for. From each mentor, they have the skill that I want from them. From each one, there's a skill that I'm looking for from them. There's a certain kind of knowledge that makes them peculiar in their business that I want from them. And as I said, some of them I have close relations, they're a phone call away. Some of them, unfortunately, they are my YouTube mentors. So one of my mentors is Robert Kiyosaki, right? I watch almost every YouTube video that guy released. Robert Kiyosaki, right? Why do I listen to this guy? Why Robert particularly, right? So Robert has been in the game and has proven his knowledge for over 20 years. In other words, I'm not taking advice from someone who's not finished a decade in business, a decade of winning, a decade of thriving. There's a strong track record in that 20 years. In fact, it's more than 40 years of that guy winning. But everything that he has been teaching has seemed to become true. 99.9% of the lessons have worked when I applied. So, Robert Kiyosaki. And then I've got 2 mentors that I deem as one, because these guys are both. So my mentor, another one is Jerud Norman and Billy Jean. Jerud Norman is the guy who teaches me marketing and sales. Now, this is funny. because Jerud Norman is mentored by Billie Jean. Billie Jean is the mentor of Jerud Norman. So for me, I was like, if I cannot have direct access to Billie Jean, let me at least get access to the person who drinks from the well of Billie Jean. Are you with me? In other words, if you cannot come close to the person that you want to learn directly from, at least look for those who are tapping from that fountain and pay them. So that's Jerud Norman and Billie Jean. So for me, they're basically teaching me the same thing, right? So when I'm struggling with marketing and sales in my business, the first person I call is not my property mentor. My property mentor teaches me property. Boy, that's a bad deal. Boy, now this dude, when I'm stuck, no, then I call my property mentor when it's property related. But marketing and getting the word out there, it's a different voice. Right? And then another mentor of mine, as you guys may know, is Rita van Rooyen. Now, this was my mentor from the very first day, right, in property. Now, we've got some properties and businesses that we are working on together. But when it comes to property, and I am frustrated in property, she's a schedule away, or a phone call, or a WhatsApp text away. Jerud Norman is a text away. Billie Jean, unfortunately, just a YouTube mentor, right? And I've invested in one of his courses, bought one of his online courses, but I cannot reach him. So I learned from him from this guy. Now, with regards to Robert Kiyosaki, Rita learned everything she knows from a course of Robert Kiyosaki. Are you guys with me? So which means, again, because I could not get direct contact with Robert, I could get direct contact with someone who's drank from the fountain of Robert. Are you guys see what I'm trying to show you? Right? So your teachers, very vital. That's why my first question was, who are your teachers in 2021? It's part of your power. Now, another mentor of mine, this guy mentors me in cryptocurrencies, right? Now, I only started investing in cryptocurrencies about 6-7 months ago, right? So now there's a couple of voices that I listen to in crypto. Again, I'm selective as to who I listen to. So in cryptocurrency, I've got two people. Again, I see them as basically one, right? The first one is one of my mentors is Mr. F. Lonabo Fololo, right? I've got his WhatsApp contact. At least I can talk to him. At least I can call him, right? Now, I'm not too close to him. When I say I'm not too close, I mean to say I'm in Cape Town. He stays in PE, and I believe he's moving to Johannesburg. So I'm not that close to him where I call him every week or whatever. But when he does an event, even if I cannot show up on time, I put it up on myself to listen to the recording, right? And I have some conversations with him on WhatsApp. I follow him very much, and I listen to his advice because he is living proof that cryptocurrencies works. So for me, I'm seeing the fruits, and I know that this thing, he has done it, and he's done it without having money when he began. Did not have all the resources. So I understand he's got the mindset to help me have the success I want in cryptocurrencies. Second person is Sivilenati Dwangu. That's another mentor of mine in cryptocurrencies, right? So those are the voices I listen to in crypto. Everybody else, yes, they may be successful and whatever. Yes, I celebrate them, but I don't listen to them. I listen to these two individuals, right? Now, then moving on to another business that I've ventured in, it's It's a business of trucks. Now this guy that I look up to since I was a child. He was buying trucks all the time. And I looked up to him. I wanted to be like him, right? And that was about, 15 years ago. And he was still in the trucking business for over the last couple of years. So for me, it was a thing of, this guy knows something. Now, this is the thing, right? So he retired about, 2 years ago, right? But this is the thing. I also take mentors who won before, even if they're not winning now. Because I want to understand I want to study. In other words, you don't only have to look at mentors who've been winning all along. Also look at mentors who've won for a long period of time and suddenly took a dip. Why did that dip happen? And learn from it. So this guy is one of the people I listen to in the trucking industry. We're still talking about having your teachers, having your mentors in place to learn different skills. And then I also recently started venturing, as I said, into the gold industry, the shipping industry. Now there as well, I've been looking at mentors, right? Looking at people who've been in the game, who understand the game, because my mailer guys, you're not going to win in business trying to figure it all out on your own, trying to be an expert in everything. You want to be an expert in trucks, you want to know everything you're tracking, you want to, come on. Get yourself the people who've done and have a track record of success. Not every voice is worth listening to. Not every voice is worth listening to. So many posers out there, right? And I don't mean anything bad to say they are posers. I'm just saying with Balinta Band who are giving voices, who are voices. Question is, what voice are you listening to? Right? Need teachers, need mentors, right? I don't start any business without a mentor. I don't even think about it without a mentor, right? Every single business I've started having someone who can say, "Ngoy, yabona ke up, uzawubuy." Now, this does not say you're not going to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. But this is to say, at least the risk in the mistakes can be mitigated, can be controlled. They can be managed. Right? So I'm going to close there for today. And I need you to write it down, write these questions down. Who do I need to become a successful property investor? And I need you to think about it this more deeply. Who do you need to become a successful property investor? Secondly, right? So secondly is, I'm trying to think of ways to put this question out there. So the first one is, who do I need to become a successful property? Second one is, who do I need to be associated with? Who do I need to be associated with? Whose wisdom do I need to tap from for me to become a successful property investor? Who do I need to become? And then the second one is, who should I be associated with for me to become a successful property investor? And lastly, what am I willing to give? How much time am I willing to devote? How much money am I willing to invest for myself to become that person? Now, These questions are very important. How much time do I need to invest? How much am I willing to spend to become that person? Robert Kiyosaki says, when I did not have money, I invested money. When I did not have time, I invested time. What you don't have, whatever it is that you lack because you are not investing it. You lack. The reason why you don't have, you're not earning your worth. You're not earning your worth because you're not investing the money you want, the money you have. Remember what I said? The money you have is a seed. The time you have is a seed. When I had no money, I worked for free. That was me offering my seed or skills. When I spent the last $100 to travel, to take a taxi, not having a Mali ticket, I was using my seed, my little income of 2,000 Rand, investing in myself to become the man you see today. Right. Now, for me to get to the level of Euro, friends, something has to change. And my goal this year is to be mentored by Tai Lopez. In other words, I'm willing to spend whatever it is that I can spend to be mentored by Tai Lopez this year. That's my goal. That's my vision. Why, Ngoy? Why? Because Tai Lopez is one of the leaders in terms of raising money, the leaders in terms of doing businesses that are always tuned in for the times. Tai Lopez is a very well-known brand. I want to build a brand like that. This year, I also started investing in a Grant Cardone cause. Why? Grant Cardone, kushaya debit order every month per account yakwangoy of about 2,000 Rand goes every month because I'm learning skills of that guy from his cause. Why is that so? I'm investing the money. Imali onayo ayanelanga for impukunalo. The income I'm earning is not enough for me to have properties all over the country. So because I lack the income I want, because I lack the properties I want, because I lack the knowledge and skills that I do not have to have properties, schools all over the country, I invest all I have because all I have today is a seed that I am planting to help me get there. So when someone says something is expensive, it also means to me that their dreams are too expensive for them. Whenever you look at the price and not look at the value, it means that whatever it is that you are looking for, you don't deserve it and it doesn't deserve you because you don't believe the price is will pay. Right? Whatever you do. So the question is, how much should I give? How much am I willing to give? In terms of time and in terms of money. For me to earn my desired wealth. Very important. The universe we are living on, we don't reap what we sow. We reap 30-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold of what we sow. You don't reap what you sow. You reap 30-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold of what you sow. Stop sweating the money you have now. Paying 20,000 Rand to learn a new skill is too much. Whatever it is that you defend, you get to keep. And you don't only keep, you destroy. Because you are either growing or dying. There's no in between. You are either growing or dying. It's just the law of life. First question, who do I need to become to have the success I want? Who do I need to associate myself with to have the success I want? How much am I willing to give in terms of time and money to have the success? Let's open an opportunity for questions before we close. Do you guys have any questions? I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. I'm going to, let's do this. Okay, so you can unmute your mic and ask a question. Awesome. You can unmute yourself and ask a question. Hit me with some questions. I need some questions. Hit me up with some questions. Anybody with a question, unmute yourself and ask your question. Guys. Yabona into esizayenza next time. Okokuqala aniphinde nonke ningaveli pictures yenu. Zawufuna unibona nonke ngoba ndisayazi noba kubukele ugenerations okanye kwenzeka ntoni. Ingathi kanti ngoku abantu bagcine nje. You are just online for being online. Next time zawufuna ubona imbuso. Any questions? I do not have any except to say thank you. Thanks a lot, moms. Thanks a lot, moms. You are always welcome. You are more than welcome. You are more than welcome. Any questions? Anybody else who might have a question? Are we all winning? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys have learned a lot, and I hope this was a fruitful session for you. Thanks a lot, moms. Thanks a lot. I intend to always be clear. Beauty, thank you so much. I don't have a question. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for being, for spending the last 2 hours listening to me make noise. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, it always gives me a joy to be able to add value in people's lives and be able to educate people. It's one of the things that are very close to my heart, right? So yeah. Also, just lastly, thanks a lot, bros. So tomorrow also, you guys can catch me live. I'll be on radio at the Keith Ngesi radio station at 8 o'clock. It's Tuesday tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Yes, we'll be discussing another very interesting topic with my host. But she's Loza Wamamfele. You can check out on Facebook. We will be streaming live at the Keith Ngesi radio station. Do get yourself, download the app on Play Store if you can, Google Store if you can. It's Keith Ngesi radio station. Or you can go on Google and write down Keith Ngesi radio station. You'll get the address and be able to tune in. You'll be there at 8 o'clock for 1 hour or so, 45 minutes to 1 hour, discussing this topic of generational wealth again. So I'll be looking forward to hosting you guys there as well. May you all have a blessed week ahead. And from me to you guys, thank you so much. May you all have a blessed day. I'll send you guys the recording maybe later today or tomorrow morning for you guys to go through all of this session again and educate and empower yourselves as much as you can. Awesome. I'll send you the recording. Yeah, I'll make sure that you all get the recording, right? Thank you so much, guys, and take care. Good night.